this will be a recording meeting, just so it will be uploaded on YouTube. If anybody have any questions and do not want to show their face or talk, you can send a message to Ashton or you can send a message to me.
Yeah. And if everyone could, I posted a sign-in link in the chat. I'll post it a few times throughout the meeting, but it helps for us to know who was here today.
Hello, everybody. So I'm gonna wait like a couple, maybe 2 or 3 more minutes just to see if any late, stragglers want to join. But in the meantime, how is everybody doing?
I'm doing pretty well, Cole. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well.
Good.
Pretty tired, but I'm trucking along. Glad to see everybody. Glad y'all could attend.
I'll send a quick message, email for students to attend, just to remind them. Hey yo.
Cool. Well, shout out to the Micah app team. That's what I've been calling it. Really appreciate y'all's help, especially so last minute. Megan met with me within an hour. We had a Zoom meeting scheduled. It was great. Because I was trying to finalize the agenda for today's meeting. Is everybody, what is this? This is week 8, right? Is everybody hanging on? Imaginary fall break in your mind?
Oh boy. How could you say something so controversial yet so brave?
Little retreat, a getaway in your brain?
Yeah,
I'm
fall
curious.
break was that time between classes.
Yeah, daydream.
Okay.
What were you saying?
Oh, I was just curious if students are rebelling and not going to classes.
Oh, I don't know. Someone posted about that in the Micah app, on the student wall. I can't remember what it said. Something funny about something like that.
Well, someone just said, "What if I drop out and that's my fall break?" Yeah.
Hey,
for the most part, I feel like it's been teachers working to make room for students. Not all teachers, but a few are just not having class, election day. A few are having light homework while still asking people to show up and, work at their own pace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I had one teacher sort of observe the so far that has observed the email or it was Elaine, but we'll see what happens. All right, well, oh, nice, one more. This is why I did this. This is why I waited. Awesome. Well, look at this. So we got a party. The freaking party up in here. Student life party. Look at all these students. All right. Cool. Well, yeah, I guess we'll kick it off then. Yeah, so I guess for the record, for the sake of the recording, stating the purpose of today's meeting as highlighting student organizations during a virtual school semester and what that looks like for students and student leaders involved with their respective student organizations. And we have the Micah app team, along with a handful of other familiar faces here to help us out today. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of what I was going to talk about was directed at student leaders or student organizations that might have been present. But if anybody wants to speak up during what I'm about to talk about, feel free. But I guess one of the things that I was thinking about was utilizing SVA's Instagram presence to help promote student organizations, maybe on like sort of case by case, like each week, maybe we highlight a different student organization, and what that would entail would be perhaps like an Instagram takeover. So they do maybe some like live feed sessions, or you obviously post on the Instagram account and talk about events or highlighting specific people involved, or directives or goals implemented, or that past accomplishments from the organizations themselves. Maybe highlighting student leaders with interview sessions between SVA members and them, stuff like that. Things that, obviously just trying to broaden the ways that they can connect with other students, because that seems to be kind of difficult right now, is like for students to let alone feel connected, but how do you encourage a student body to get involved when that sort of only goes so far sitting in front of your computer? And so hopefully by reaching out, utilizing the Instagram platform, that will maybe bridge the gap a little more. And if not, more than anything, it'll just what's the word I'm looking for? Act as a megaphone in a way. Oh, I totally forgot to do introductions, y'all. I'm so sorry. Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to do it right now. Now that y'all listen to me ramble on. Who cares? It's free form. This is jazz. This is Micah jazz student life. Jazz hands. All right. I'll just go ahead and introduce myself, and then we'll like popcorn it, So my name is Cole. I use he, him pronouns. I'm a graphic design major in my junior year, and I'm the student life VP at SVA, and I'm really happy to be here. All right, I'm gonna popcorn it over to Susie.
Hi, thank you. I'm Susie Brandt, and I teach in the fiber department in first year experience. I am a faculty representative on the Student Affairs Committee, and we report the content of your meetings to the faculty assembly. I also just happen to wear the hat of Quilt Club advisor as well. Case in point, we are active right now. Thank you.
Oh my God, the email worked. There's some people joining. Let me just because I talk. Hello everyone, my name is Sofia Maldonado Feliciano. I am the SVA president for this year, and I'm a sophomore. Hello. Ashton, if you want to go.
Yeah, hey, I'm Ashton, a graphic design major and SVA's chief of staff for this year. they, them pronouns. And who hasn't gone? Maddie, have you gone?
Thanks, Ashton. Hey, y'all. Maddie White. I use she and her pronouns. I'm the Assistant Director for Student Involvement in the Center for Student Engagement. I'll popcorn to Erin.
Hi, I'm Erin Bainum. I'm in the Strategic Communications Department. I am the Director of User Experience and Engagement, and it only makes sense that I shoot it to Megan.
Hi, everyone. My name is Megan Miller, and I'm the Associate Dean for Student Integrated Learning and Student Affairs. And I use she, her pronouns, and I'm part of the app team. And I will pop it to Lakeisha.
Hello, my name is Lakeisha, she, her, and I am the SVA secretary, and I am a sophomore. I will shoot it to Carol.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carol Martinez-Doan. I use they, them, theirs pronoun. I'm the director for the Center for Student Engagement and the advisor, and also the advisor to SVA. And I will send it to Yael.
Hello, I'm Yael. I run a student org called Micro Organizers and Activists, and I help facilitate the Student Government Task Force, which is basically a long form way of saying we're trying to make SVA more powerful. That's pretty much it. I'll pass it to who hasn't gone? Mike, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. Hi, I'm Mike Patterson, he, him pronouns. I'm the Vice President of Student Affairs. It's good to be here with you all. I'm keeping my video largely down because I'm eating while we're meeting. So I'm here, I'll jump in, but I'm trying not to gross you all out. Who's left? Talia, I think, hasn't gone.
Hi, I'm Talia. I'm just here listening. I work for the CII. Yeah, hi. Oh, I'm a she, her pronouns, and I'm a senior GFA major.
The only one missing is Chloe Green.
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm really sorry to be late. So I'm Chloe Green. I'm a senior GFA major. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the SVA student life.
Cool. Awesome. All right. So I just want to say again that I really appreciate everybody being here, and for anybody that's just joining us, I guess I can quickly reiterate what I was saying. I don't know. Did somebody leave? Never mind. Well, we were talking about SVA promoting or highlighting student organizations using social media presence. Yeah. If anybody, Yael, I don't know if maybe if that interests you, you obviously don't have to speak up, but you know, feel free to like shoot one of us like a private message if you're interested, or email. I don't know if that's something that you think you could utilize, or if something you'd want to weigh in on at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I think using the Instagram to highlight clubs is a great idea. Also, I think the SVA Instagram gets a lot of traction. Like a lot of people look at it, so it's really like, yeah, it's a really great tool that we should use even more.
Yeah. Agreed. Is there anything else that anybody would like to see more of, or I guess like, or any other further suggestions that you'd like to see with SVA maybe helping highlight student organizations that maybe we're not doing? I know it's kind of a lot of pressure, but, and that isn't, you don't have to answer that as well. But
I think one of the things we should that because I was a freshman last year, so I had kind of had the experience of kind of being confused of arriving to the MICA bubble. I think one of the first thing that I was very confused is that, for example, all I knew about clubs was when they were showing like, oh, this is our club. But then a lot of people would be like, there's a dance club, and then they will be like, there's a cosplay club, and I'm like, where were they? I'm just confused where they were. So I think the the SVA Instagram could highlight a lot of we could talk to some who are active right now, because obviously there won't be some active this year. But I feel like we can actively like try to promote them on our SVA. Like if there's like a meeting happening, like I saw that the Black Union club had some guest speakers, and we could promote that on our Instagram. We could also promote some resources of like, if you want to create your own club and you have members, these are some things that we could do, that you should do, like a checklist for them.
Yeah, for sure. I think it'd be interesting to do maybe like a week where SVA highlighted student organizations, and where maybe, or I don't know how many days, where maybe every day we did like, or every week you highlighted a new organization or something. And maybe that could be, if we could turn that into something. I don't know. I made a note for it. That's something we can talk about at the next SVA meeting. All right. Well, anyways, so now I'm gonna pass it along to our lovely guests who are here representing the MICA app team, and we're gonna shift into sort of focus group.
Thanks, Cole. We appreciate you having us today, and we have just a few questions that we'd love to ask you about the MICA app. Many of you probably saw we put out a survey, and thanks to you if you already completed it. That's really helpful. But we're going to be following up the survey with some focus groups, so kind of just checking in with folks who represent certain groups. And we thought today might be a great opportunity to talk to some student org leaders and people who are involved in organizations and see how the app is working for you. Just to give you a little context, we have about a little over 900 students on the app, and we have about 300 faculty and staff on the app. And that percentage breaks down to about 75% of the first year class, 50% of sophomores, 50% of juniors, and 50% of seniors, like on average. And so we're feeling pretty good about those numbers, but we want to continue to have folks know about it. Our survey actually drummed up even more people like downloading the app, so that was good. They were like, oh, I didn't know this was happening. So that was helpful to just kind of have people hear about it. But I think today we just have some questions for how it's working for you personally, and then also for your student organization if you represent a student organization. So I'm going to turn over to Erin, and I think she and I are going to kind of ask some questions, and then Maddie is going to be taking notes for us. Maddie's also working with us as a part of the team on building out the organization piece of the app. So huge kudos to her and all of her hard work this summer on getting that to put together. So I'll turn it over to Erin.
Hey y'all. So before I ask this first question, I also just want to say, this is a safe space. Feel free, any criticisms, any positive feedback, whatever you have, please feel free to say it. It's only going to make us work in a more efficient way on the app and try to implement as many changes as we can. So the first question is, on a day-to-day basis, how are you using the app? How is it working for you personally?
And I'll also throw in, if you don't feel like talking and you want to just throw your answer in the chat, that's also an option. But we'd love to hear your opinion.
I guess my thing with the MICA app, I don't think like I'm the demographic. Not that I'm a MICA student, obviously, but because the app was not implemented when I was for the first year there, and it was more implemented for this year. I already have friends. I already have people that I know from MICA, but freshmen who did not go to MICA, freshmen who are hungry to just be on the campus are mostly utilizing the app better than as a sophomore. I do think that that I don't know. I always talked about how can you like implement that more to like other years. Just because I feel like whenever you go to like the Micah app, I feel like it's mostly freshmen talking.
I can echo that sentiment. I'm a senior and I basically only use the app when someone else in the SVA is like, oh, look at what's happening. That's my go-to time. Other than that, I have not opened it. But that's because I'm a senior. I am very active with other students on campus, even, well, not on campus right now, but you know. So I'm curious how the numbers will grow over the next 3 years as more incoming classes come in.
Yeah, I also, it also seems like it's mostly freshmen that are active, which I feel badly about because I also feel like there's a lot that like connecting freshmen with juniors and seniors, for instance, could help them like figure out what classes they want to take and could get them like excited and feel more integrated. But I don't really see too many seniors that that use it. Maybe they look at it. Yeah, that's my first impression of it.
I also wanted to say, this is just a quick like thing that I've realized over the Micah app about notifications. I sometimes don't pay attention to them just because they're so random. Like sometimes I get like my cat in like my notifications and I'm like, I don't really care. And no offense to the cat. Sometimes I will look at it, but sometimes like if it's like a very important thing, like for example, I see sometimes like clubs trying to promote their meetings, but they don't get as much attraction to them as like other people like commenting, like for example, cat or like some memes or something. And so some club members who are trying to like promote their things kind of start going, they go on the bottom.
I'm reading this from the chat just for the recording. Someone wrote, as a senior, I agree. I mainly use the app to see what the freshmen are talking about and to keep up to date on events. I enjoy their memes.
I should agree on that. I like the memes sometimes, but sometimes it's all like the same thing. I sometimes think it's the same thing. I will be honest. I also do that. Like I posted like 3 times, like just my cat pictures, and then I was out.
I feel like it's helped me. I don't check it very frequently. Just as the school year has continued, I've obviously just, I'm pretty, you're consumed by your classes more than really like trying to stay up to date on the memes or something or the events. And it's obviously, it's just, I feel like it's just hard to like, I mean, it's one thing to just like post about an event on an app, but it's different, like when you're all together on campus, you can reach people a lot more directly about events. People want to go to events, it's harder to attract people to online events and stuff. And so I don't know. I think the app does a good job of promoting them. I don't know enough about, like what was like UI UX, I guess, to like improve that reach, but it seems fine to me. I think that the Micah app and this wall or whatever it's called, like the student feed, has been like one of the more interesting byproducts of the virtual semester. And it feels like that's like when I check it, I'm like, and I look at and I scroll through the student feed, I'm like, oh yeah, that's Micah, like that's us. This is it, funny. I don't know. It's just interesting, like that is like kind of like how I feel connected. Like, I don't know if I would feel as connected with the student body this semester if I didn't have that, and I don't, like I said, I don't get on it that often.
I also feel like maybe the content on the app could more directly target the freshmen since they're the most active and could directly address freshman specific needs, which is that they've never had a campus and that they probably aren't feeling super integrated into the community. When I have posted on like the MICA organizers, the student club page, I have connected with a couple freshmen and not really much else. So it's clearly freshmen to me that are using it the most and that are craving community. And I wonder if there's, like, I feel like non-freshmen are posting announcements for the whole community, but it's mostly freshmen who are seeing it and engaging with it. And we might as well directly acknowledge that and directly promote things to freshmen and offer things to freshmen.
That's a great point. Thank you, Yael, for bringing that up. So to kind of branch out on the org thing that you were just talking about, I'm just curious how the app is working for your student organization. Have you been able to attract members or generate membership?
So I've made a couple of announcements on the app and in the like our student org page. Yeah, we got in touch with a couple of freshmen. It's like freshmen who like really want to find an organization are gonna find it. So it's more like they found us. We did post, but they sort of jumped at the opportunity. So I've gotten in touch with Nadia Nazar, who's like a super accomplished climate activist. She testified at the UN with Greta Thunberg. She's like, I'm just amazed that there's this freshman here that's done such amazing activism. She's sort of like a hidden gem. So she found MICA organizers and came to I asked her to speak at one of our like virtual workshops. But it's also been hard to like really do much beyond that. So I'm trying to find more opportunities to make her feel included. That's pretty much all our club has done with the app.
I also do agree that it's harder for like for the clubs to like promote their clubs, especially that clubs succeed more on when they are physically like there. For example, like you had the boxing club. The boxing club, I was part of it. Never joined any meeting though, but they communicated so many times throughout the year that's why like they did such a good job like getting members, because they would communicate every week. The League of Legends club does the same thing. They always communicate a lot. And so that's why a lot of them, especially those who are physically there, like the dance club, the cosplay club, have all struggled a lot this semester just because they're not there to physically do something. Just because like you can't do boxing on Zoom. That's just crazy. You're gonna hit your camera. That's crazy. And so there's just other things that I do think that the MICA, we talk about them on the MICA on here, like what MICA app is like struggling with. But I do think that like once we come back to MICA, I will think that the MICA app will have such a big different view on it. For example, I might search for like what the club members are happening now, and I will get emails. I will get just like the MICA app.
On that same note, I imagine when we're actually on campus that it would be easy to say, okay, I have a break between classes, what's happening, and just see, oh, the boxing club is having free pizza. And that's a really, really powerful tool compared to like getting 50 emails a day from different clubs.
Yeah, I don't know if like the MICA, I haven't done my research on the MICA app that well, so I don't know if like when we go to campus, will there be like a live feed of like what's happening now?
Yeah, that exists now. It's an event. It's the events like button. So if you go to like the
okay, yeah, I see it.
Page over the green button, that's the events. I have a like bookmark, is one of my favorites, but it's just got the list of everything happening.
Okay, cool. I got it. It's just
Yeah.
I'm not someone that like doesn't really look at the Micah app as much, but I also do think that the Micah app is succeeding in the sense that like if students don't feel like they're being listened to and they start posting a lot, that's something that like for example with the situation that happened with the police, the cop that was in for the freshmen, I think that the SVA like only knew about that because we got some emails, but we also saw the students were angry in the Micah app, and that's why the SVA didn't take like a week to like talk about this. They knew instantly that this was happening. So that's something positive that happened.
Well, even on that note, I was just looking at the app as we're talking, and someone posted, I think slowly the student feed has become our complaint board, almost like a public town hall. So, I mean, especially right now with the, students are upset about fall break. And that's most of the feed when I'm glancing at it.
I wanted to add about the speaker thing that happened at the forum. Like we had our workshop like that week, and we didn't get a lot of turnout. I think that's been hard for a lot of virtual programs, but I also wondered if there was a lot of fatigue from students, and that me promoting things on the app during that week was not that it was like people were mad about it, but it just, I don't think people had the energy to really look. It was, yeah, I think that was like a more exhausting week for people on the app than I had anticipated. Or, I mean, I didn't anticipate the speaker thing, but anyway.
Yeah, I also agree with that. Like currently right now, there's not a lot of people in this meeting right now because a lot of people are also stressing out over the fall break. And that's why I think like in mind right now, the fall break is what people are thinking right now. And so that's why promoting on you can still promote it on the Micah app. That's how I see it. But just you won't get as much reception because there's such a there's such a, like a big thing like on your little promotion thing.
Yeah, something to kind of build on what Yael and Sophia are saying. Particularly with that police officer situation, one thing that I feel like also happened on the app was there was a lot of distrust with like even SVA. A lot of students felt like we were unaware of what had happened and we weren't really doing anything about it, which was not the case. We were working really hard, like with a lot of other things. But there isn't really anything on the feed that shows students what SVA is doing, like kind of keeping up. And I know Sammy Hoy just sent an email about this. Administration, they're trying to be more transparent and more consistent with telling students what they're working on. But I'm wondering if there could be like another channel on the app for just like student governance, where students could go and be like, oh, what is SVA up to? And then I don't know, SVA could have a Micah app officer or someone who just posts frequently to be like, this is what we're doing this week, like reminding students where they can go if they want to make a suggestion or something. Like,
yeah, Megan actually had reached out to Sam and I talking about how usually student governments can moderate their school social media so that they're like they're more present in those spaces. And yeah, it's making me think of that too, because freshmen shouldn't have to feel like the app is their complaint board. They should feel like there are channels that they know about where they can talk to people and say, we're upset about this and we need to see action on this. It's deeply frustrating to me that freshmen feel like it's just this anarchy where they just have to like complain and be upset on this app and then and send like maybe an email into the ether or send an angry email to SVA like, where are you? That just seems wrong to me. I mean, I'm passionate about this because I run the student governance task force, but I mean, these are the things that I feel like Micah makes more obstacles for itself than it needs to, because there are ways to make this easier.
I'll actually add on the same note, because of like the police officer situation, we at SVA had to tell the administration that not only were the freshmen triggered by this event, but they had created so much chaos on the app that others throughout the campus had been affected. And I think also bringing up an issue Cole and I had with a specific post a while ago that was already addressed, that Cole brought up to me as like incredibly triggering for someone who's going through depression and suicidal ideation. I think those issues are especially concerning right now, where we see a lot of students who don't have the same concern for others in the room that they should.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons we kind of went to Yael and Sam, is that we wanted to think about, I know when we came to you all this summer, there were a couple folks who came, were in the meeting, and we were like, do you want to have a place? And, how do we want to make this work? And I know there's the student government or SVA group, and it's one of the most popular groups. There's a lot of people in it. But it may not be that folks know that they can join that group and then also post to that channel. So I think we're about to, the channel management is going to change in the app. So we don't have as much control over that right now as we would like. But I think that we will very soon have more opportunity to make new channels that we can assign moderators to. So that might be something, again, like I wanted to just think about for even next year, because unless you all want to jump into it this year, we're happy to have you jump into it. But I think it's like, how do we help, students, particularly first years, navigate and understand not only like what the boundaries are within this space, which, we're kind of posting and then taking things down and DMing students and trying to be sort of the moderators, Erin and I, but I think like even having student to student, like I think that would be really impactful, just to say like, that we're trying to keep this space, in the community ethos of MICA, and what does that mean, so we would love help with that too, because I think there's kind of student to student means a lot more than like an administrator like saying you did something wrong.
Yeah, I'm curious actually, because the only feed I look at is the all channels feed when I check out the app. I'm curious if there could be, instead of all channels, like all channels besides those where there might be triggering content. And that way it could be like, a bit of self-care for people who don't want to see that stuff.
You could also give the option, because I believe Discord does that, something like that. So what they do is that you put like you click on a specific like button, and it like blocks what it says, and then it gives like it could give a reasoning of like why do you have to block it, and are you willing to see it? For example, it's like a spoiler. For example, it's a spoiler for a movie. They put like, oh, spoiler. Like if you want to look at it, just click on it. Or you could also implement that for like trigger warnings if something's happening on MICA that, for example, like the police situation. You could like give that for students who do trigger warnings, and like and when they click on it, they could be like you give a little like example of like, is this triggering for students? Like, what does it talk about? Does it talk about police, depression, suicide, etc. Just for students so they can know things that should be like think about before they post.
Yeah, it's not just what's triggering content. I think Megan might also be talking about like bullying and like harassment language that might be used on the app, because I have seen that used by freshmen. Like I saw a really bad thread where students were just like using expletives against someone's family, which I felt was not appropriate. And I thought to myself as a senior, could I step in? And then I also reminded that social media is not the best place and that people just direct their anger at me. So, but I do think that there could be a way for SVA to also act as like like a boundary setter in that way, just as like a peer, but with some authority that maybe students are like, okay, like we should take this more seriously. But yeah, there's definitely yeah, I'm sometimes surprised at what freshmen are posting or think that is appropriate, because it's not like, I would think, to me, this is the official MICA app. This is like the institution, there are Discords and Facebooks where you could post that. I don't know. I'm always surprised by it, but I'm also, I'm kind of old school. I don't really use a lot of social media. I just have to now because I do clubs and stuff.
My thing is that I was one of like the first people like in the Micah app that was like trying Carol put a question. They said would SVA be interested in taking on or trying on moderating role in spring 2021? I think so. I actually like agree on that question just because like we're trying to make this SVA as a government, so we could have a role for that specific thing just to like, but I don't know how it would look like. I maybe like think about maybe like there could be like a channel like or a position that like someone could give and just to like collaborate with like the Instagram team. I mean not Instagram, the Micah app. Sorry. One of the things that I was gonna say is that I think that the Micah app started like as a wholesome kind of thing. Like I would post memes myself. I would be like, look at my cat. She's such a cute little thing. And then I would be like, oh, 3 out of my 5 professors reached out. I'm sad. Kind of like that. But then it just became like this type of like because there's so many people in there, obviously you can't take out the negative out of it. There's so many people with different opinions, and then there's just some things like there's students attacking other students, and I was like, whoa, this is crazy, what's happening here? And I think it's mostly like freshmen. There could be sophomores in it too, I'm not sure myself, because I don't want to blame the freshmen, because the freshmen, some of them don't know, some of them are so new to Micah. So I don't know how we could implement that without censoring them.
One thing that I'm thinking of, and I've done some research into like how social networking works. This is kind of taking almost the 4chan approach of like, this is the newest post. And almost every social network that's popular has gone away from that, because if you just show the newest post, it gives equal importance to anything at all. And that can be especially problematic when you have people sharing, you know, what we've seen, the bullying. And it's not fair that, say, Yael's event post is buried underneath all of this, even if it receives more likes and it should get more attention.
I appreciate all of your feedback. This is really helpful. Some of what is out of our control is the algorithm with the app. And right now it is completely based on when you post. So it's kind of, that's the way it's working. And the trigger warning ideas I loved as well, that actually, all this we can give feedback to the organization, the company who runs the app, but it's not something that we have direct control over unless we wanted to really try to channel people's complaints into one sort of place, and that might then make it, you could either follow that channel or you could not. There are ways that you can turn on notifications for every channel, so you can decide if you want to have just notifications for, but I don't think we can, the all channels is like still the default. So but again, there is some, we're about to get more granularity in our permissions and what we can do with it. So once we have that, I think it might be really great to revisit this conversation with those who might be interested in how we could then create channels, or possibly, I don't want to say like divert negative energy, but it's kind of like, how do you know, if people are really frustrated about something, like giving them a space to kind of voice those concerns and then be able to talk back, you know, as SVA, and say, hey, we're having these conversations. And I really think that might be helpful. You know, I'm just curious, for most of you, I'm assuming you have other channels for communication within your organizations, but what are you relying on mostly for your orgs? And do you think the app might be able to become something where you would use your org wall to be your primary source of communication with people?
Well, SVA uses mostly Slack to communicate internally. But do you mean how we're communicating or like other methods?
For like, you know, those of you that have or student organizations outside of SVA, are
Oh, excuse
you
me, sorry.
communicating with your members via email or Discord? Like, do you have other ways that you're, or Instagram? I mean, how are you communicating out?
I will say I'm on a lot of like R5 groups and those like initiative committees. They've been making Discord channels. There's like one, I think there's the MICA advocacy Discord channel, and then in that there's like subgroups, and each one is dedicated. There's one for like climate change, voting, like all of those. And then I know there's a couple like SVA Instagram group chats floating around, but those are like very those are unofficial. Those are just
We've definitely given the feedback that it would be great to have group chats, and right now in the app that you can only just do direct chats with one person. And so group chats has been something we've requested from the beginning, but again, I don't know if that'll actually come to fruition.
I know almost all of my classes, and graphic design major, so this makes sense, but we're almost entirely using Slack, like one Slack page per class. And they have varying activity on them. One is literally never been touched. It was more created because it had to be, I guess. While another is really active, has people sharing resources, using it to like give critique on homework. Yeah.
I use, so I'll promote in the app, I'll promote on Instagram, and then I use the Discord that Chloe was describing that has like a bunch of like advocacy themed orgs like divestment, sustainability, and voting, and disability activism, and SVA is on there too, or at least some members are active on there. And then I also email out the list of interested freshmen that we got, that like spreadsheet that we got sent of, students who are interested in the club. So I'll email that whole list out if we're having an event. Those are pretty much the tools I use.
You want to jump in, Erin?
Sure. I actually just want to piggyback off something really quick that we talked about in the beginning. I know that many of you are upperclassmen or you've been here before, and most of this isn't new for you, but let's say that you wanted to get in touch with your advisor, or you were trying to find like contact information for a department or program on campus. Would you assume that you could find that information in the app? Would you even look for it there, or would you go some other route to find something for the first time?
I can jump in and answer. I think personally, if I knew if MICA came out and said, hey, here's a page on the MICA app that has the contact for this problem, like if you want to get in touch with your advisor, all of that. Because I know one problem, I guess when I got to MICA, a big issue a lot of us had was that you had to jump through hoops to find out who to get to about any issue. It didn't feel like there was really any person you could email, be like, hey, what do I do in this case? Like, it just felt like there was, all that information was not condensed in one area that students could access, even though we had the MICA website. So yeah, personally, I would use that part of the MICA app if it became a thing.
I think I agree with Chloe, like a very clear list of contacts would be helpful, but I will say, like, especially for emails, I will go to my laptop where I would just use the MICA website myself. For contacting people through phone or through chat, I could imagine the app would be a really nice source.
Yeah, same here. I feel like because I used the website so much before, like when I got here and stuff. That's kind of what I primarily use.
I imagine since it seems to be mostly freshmen on the Micah app, they'll probably adjust to using it to find those resources a lot more than like the rest of us who went to the website. I don't know. I feel like an old person being like, oh, these kids and their technology, talking about this app as a senior, but
I also feel that way, Chloe. I remember last year, like last fall for TGIF, like Tanvi and Sophie and I made our own like DIY like list of contacts for every issue at Micah, and we had like, you know, all your mental health resources, all your res life stuff. Like we had like DIY'd it, printed it out, handed it out at tables. So it's funny that it's converted on the app. I think we had talked about that. Yeah, I don't really. I use the Micah website, I guess, to find things if I really can't. But but I feel like the app should be the place that students look.
Okay, so thank you for clarifying that. And just so you all know, because I'm not totally sure that everyone does know that we've built that into the app for easy access. So there is an advising and enrollment tile, and there's a campus services tile, academics. I mean, it does break down pretty much, we hope, everything that everyone would need to know. So it's good to hear that. We just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Okay, so I know we only have 5 minutes left. Is there anything that you'd like to, any other feedback you would like to share that we didn't get to at all?
This is just really quick. Sorry, give me a second. This is really quick on the something that could be thought about. Obviously, it's not you guys wouldn't implement that. It would be
I'll add that like I knew that all of those tiles are there, and like it's kind of, yeah, it's like the digital version of the thing that Tanvi and I had made and printed out. But for some reason I never look there. I don't know what it is. I think that's a question worth asking freshmen, unless maybe that was asked in the survey. I forgot about the survey. But yeah, I wonder if freshmen do use it.
Can you guys hear me a little better now?
Yeah.
I am very sorry. I'm in 2 meetings right now. This is why it's like this. So one of the things that I wanted to say is that could be implemented on like some, oh my God, on some other things is like maybe doing like a widget, how do you pronounce it?
A widget?
Widget, is that how you pronounce that? I don't know. On the phones to like act to like, could be like events, could be like classes, it could be something, I don't know. It's just a suggestion I would have. Just because iPhones and Androids have that. So it could be good implement, because like I know Canvas has it. So it would be cool if like maybe like it could be implemented on like the phone and someone like, I don't know.
I actually agree with that. I use the widgets on iPhone now that they have come out. I use my calendar app to keep track of like when I need to be in class. So if that was possible, that would be a really great way to keep the campus engaged.
Is there anything else that y'all didn't cover that we need to cover before we try to, might be running slightly over time? Just wanted to.
We're done. So yeah, if you,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
We really, really appreciate all of your feedback. This has been super helpful. And we will circle back as soon as we have more information on those channels and what's possible for this semester or for spring, sounds like.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and I made a note about the SVA moderator position. So that's something that we'll probably talk about in our upcoming meetings and maybe get back to y'all about as well. But we are kind of cutting it close to time, so I want to be respectful towards y'all. I know everybody's got a busy schedule, but I just wanted to open the space up for any of the students that are here that might be student leaders. If you haven't spoken up, if you have any announcements, this is the time to do so. anything, any events or updates? But if not,
I do have one. I do have
okay.
one. Okay. Well, so the Student Government Task Force posted on Instagram and also sent out an email about a survey to get feedback about basically two things so we can write SVA's constitution, which is like the structure of SVA, like what model of governance you want, and then two, like what election process you'd want to be involved in so that we can like then go forward and start writing it. So yeah, we've gotten some really awesome results coming in, but if other people could like let people know about that survey. I'm on my phone, so I can't like properly like screen share it, but maybe, I don't know. It's on the Instagram, it's an email. So yeah, just let people know about it. Spread the word. Thanks.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. We'll definitely help try to spread the word. Bye-bye. Thanks for coming. Okay, well, yeah, let me double check the, okay, well, if for anybody, I think we have some late, thank you, Mike, thank you for coming. For anybody that's joining late, if you want to reach out to anybody here on SVA, you can reach out to us via our Instagram, which is, help me out here, y'all, I'm blanking.
Micah _ student voice.
Thank you. The person that's not an SVA remembers it. Thank you so much. And then also sva@mica.edu. Awesome. And I really appreciate everybody that participated today. Thank you, Megan. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Maddie. And thank you to the students that attended. Appreciate y'all if you're just joining us. And these are monthly meetings, so you know we will meet again in November, I believe. So all right, well, I guess that'll conclude the meeting. So thanks for attending, everybody.
Thank you.